Hey, how you doing? Let's build a bar and grill restaurant in ARK. Picture one of those restaurants where the waiters wear cowboy gear, there are peanut shells everywhere on the ground, and every time it's someone's birthday, they get to wear a gallon hat. Sounds like a place UTC would work, right? Well, we're gonna build it. Hey there, my name is SWChris. How you doing? Hope you are doing well. Let's go ahead and get started on this tutorial. We are at the ruins, and this is where we're going to build our restaurant. At least this is what I'm going to build my restaurant. You can build it anywhere you want because I've designed it to work on a flat ground. We're at 45.8, 62.5, and that's on the old GPS on the center map. So if you want to build it in exactly the same place, here you go. Nice spot right here. Let's fly up and take a look at this. While we look at our kind of equipment list, let's see what we need here for materials. You can see that it's going to be a pretty standard build. We're going to be using primarily some metal fence railings, greenhouse glass, a lot of stone wall. It's because I'm going for kind of a rustic look. We're going to have a bar and booth seating and kind of a cooking area and an outdoor patio cafe. So that is what we're building today. And this is the shape you need to look at it with. It's kind of a 5x5 square overlapped with another 5x5 square with a little 2x1 thing kind of sticking off the end of that one off to the right. So take a good look, maybe screenshot this, and that's the foundation pattern you need. I always use thatch foundations because they're cheap materials. Helps me to lay things out when I care about resources and all that. But we're going to replace these, since I'm happy with the placement here, with stone foundations. So let's go ahead and do that. There's just one little tiny thing that I need to mention here. Is that you can lay a foundation maybe here and maybe here, but you can't lay one here because there's this little fissure is a little too deep. So make sure you have this platform kind of shoved up here against the staircase here. Otherwise, you may encounter some problems over here when the rock meets the ground. It's just one of those weird map quirks. But otherwise, you shouldn't have any issues because this is a really flat area. Okay, we got our stone platform placed. So next, we need to put some pillars down, but the pillars are not going to snap to the right spots. So you can't get them to snap right on the ends, and I kind of want them to. So we're going to use fence foundations. We're going to use a metal one first. I want to snap a foundation right here, but as you can see, the place where I want to snap it is snapping on the ground there. I don't want it to snap on the ground, so we're going to place another foundation. It can be thatch, but I'm using stone because that's what's in my toolbar. And we're going to place a metal fence foundation right here, and you want to put it on the left snap point. I think there's only two. And then you can just delete that. And this snap point, this metal thing will kind of stay. And now, I'm going to put a wood pillar right there. And now we need to go over 3 platforms. So 1, 2, 3, and put another metal one right here. And then put another wood pillar right there. Okay, so that will mark the spot. This one I know is going to go up to. So let's go ahead and make these go up to. And next, let's go 2 pillars back. And let's put let's see. Yeah, let's do a metal fence foundation here, right? Actually. And let's put one right there. And then this time we're going to put a stone pillar on the end of this right here, and we'll bring it up too. Now, this is kind of a nice thing because it kind of gives you continuity across the way, and it looks almost like a metal kind of sealant or a seal, or, you know, like what they put on asphalt, except it's metal. People won't question it, is what I'm trying to get at here. Okay, so it's not like it's going to stick out like a sore thumb or anything. All right, so we got this pillar, and then we need to go all the way over to here, to this edge. And let's see, how do I want to do this? Yes, I need to put a platform right here, and then we'll put a metal pillar right there, I guess. It can stick out a bit, I think. Yeah, that's okay. And then we're going to put wood pillar right here, 2 up, and a stone pillar on this side. Let's see, where's my stone pillar? 2 up right there. Okay, great. So now that we have our stone pillars in and our wood pillars in, you can kind of see a a little bit of the shape taking place. This is going to be our front porch here. And now we need to get the walls up. So this whole front facade here, this is going to be glass. So we're going to use greenhouse glass. We're just going to place it across here. So you're going to do one greenhouse glass wall right there. And then a door frame right there. And let's put another door frame. Let's see. Yes, let's put another door frame right there. And then we can do glass walls all the way across. So let's go ahead and do that. Right there. Okay. And then a whole row of glass walls across the top is good enough for me. And then we can put some door frames in right here. Okay, so there. Now there's the front of our restaurant. And so now we need to work on the other walls. So let's go inside here. Let's see how this works. So these are going to be stone walls, and you're just going to kind of decorate the edges like so. It's going to just kind of stick in like that. And then you're going to put one right here as well. I think it'll fit correctly or correctly enough. We want this kind of exposed siding, so I'm not going to do the double-sided walls like I did with the Frank Lloyd Wright house. We're just going to leave the wood paneling kind of exposed here. It'll give it kind of a character. Let's put greenhouse wall right there and a greenhouse wall right there. And then we can do just regular stone walls all the rest of the way across. So, like so. And I will continue to do this, but I do want to go ahead and encourage you to go ahead and please share this video. It helps me out so very, very much. Oh my God. I just defaulted to someone else's saying. I'm not going to say who, but it does help out a lot. Okay. That way, you know, it gets more views on the video and means I can do more of these for you. Okay, so we've come this far, and we've got this kind of bit right here. We are actually going to fold in right here. Oops. And you want the exposed side to go the other direction. So, yeah, that'll work out pretty nicely right there. And then come in right here, and let's just trade. Okay, maybe it just wants me to clip in this way, no matter what. Okay, there we go. Good gravy. Okay, and then 6. Okay, there we go. So now we have kind of the shape of our restaurant here. There's one more bit here that we need to do. Oh, it did it backwards too. Okay, so let's try it again. There, much better, much better. Okay, so now we can go in, and now what we need to do is bring a wall across right here, and then we'll put a door frame in here, but I don't have it on my toolbar, so I'll get it later. In the meantime, we'll go ahead and we'll add the second story. So go ahead and do a second story of walls all the way around, okay? All right, there we go, except one little boo-boo. I need to actually put a door frame in this wall, so I messed that up. I gotta actually take it out, because for some reason it doesn't let me just replace it. And then put a stone wall here, and a stone wall here. Maybe, please? Yes! Okay, great. All right, so now we can just walk right on through. Works great. The interior looks good, too. All right, so next, let's go outside. Let's work on some metal railings, all right? Let's see, let's change everything over here. There we go, my new tool set here. We're going to put a metal railing right here and right here. And, okay, so this one's going to be a little bit tricky because of this fence foundation placement. We just need to make sure it overlaps smoothly with this other railing. So maybe placing this fence down first, and then placing this fence will help you out a lot. And then we can just do railings right across here. Very easy. And then you just want to border in the rest of this patio with the railings here. So interesting thing with this roof is if we're going to add what we need to add, we actually need to put in a stone ceiling just right here, nowhere else, just right there. And then we need to go out and go around and then put these up. So stone sloped roof, sloped wall right there, and then a sloped wall. Oops. There we go. Very nicely. And then you'll repeat the process right there. And then once again, right there. And same thing for the other side. So let's go do that. Right there. And right there. And then wall, and not a railing. One of these, and then one of these. And then over here, same thing. One of these, and then not one of those, but one of these. Okay, very nice. So that's our roof portions. Well, almost. We got to do these over here. And you see how that kind of got backwards? Let's see if we can change that around. Okay, so here's what you're going to do. A little building trick here is if you need to match a like a stone slab up on an edge right here, and it's not quite working because it's just a little offset, you can build another ceiling out and then use a placement here and then just stand on the other side of it, okay? And then I think this is the correct placement, and we get rid of that. Yes, and it actually lines up because it snaps to the interior side snap point of the ceiling I just deleted. So let's kind of, actually I probably don't need to do that again. I think it'll just snap correctly now. No, it's going to be difficult. Okay, so then we'll have to place another ceiling. And then we'll place a wall here. And then we'll just stand on this side. It'll snap. And then there you go. It's nice and flush. Very nice. Okay. And then we do that. And then we do that. Awesome. Okay, so we're not going to put a roof on this yet. Instead, we're going to start doing some furnishing. And that's because I have a special idea planned for the roof. All right, time to furnish. So let's go ahead and start with our little waiting area here. So let's put a stone fence or stone railing right there. A stone railing right there. And let's put a little wall sign. And let's just put it right there. And I'm going to set the sign text. It's going to say, please wait. And then lots of spaces to be seated, period. All right, so you're going to need 21 spaces between the wait and to be seated for this to kind of work on two lines. Otherwise, it just pastes it all in one line. It looks terrible. But this is good here. And so there we go. We got a nice waiting area here. We can maybe get some benches. So let's get some of those. So let's put a bench right here. And let's do a bench. Oops. Had it. Come on. Right there. Okay. Beautiful. So 2 little benches for people who need to wait and the restaurant's full. So that works great. Now it's time to work on the bar. So let's go ahead and head on over here. Let's put a stone foundation right in the stone pillar right in the middle of this stone foundation. Let's skip a stone foundation and put a stone pillar right in the middle of this foundation. And that's going to be the basis for our bar. Let's go ahead and put storage boxes here. So I think about 4 will fit. Just kind of slide them on over. All right, got it on my second try. So that's good. It's very straight. You might have to try a couple times. Let's continue. We need to build a little divider to make sure that people can't get back behind here very easily. So let's put a fence foundation right here, a stone fence foundation. And then, actually, do I even need that? Yes, I do. I need that because I'm going to put a pillar right there. And then we're going to need to put a wood wall here. But there's a couple snap points here. You want it on the one that's farthest away to the left, farthest to the left, because that way we'll have room here for a couple of booths, which we will build at a later date. All right, so then just to kind of fill this gap, you can put anything here you want. I'm going to do a little storage box. Okay, there we go. So there's our basic bar, but we're going to do more to this. So we're going to take a catwalk and put it right there and just kind of bring it across like this so that it kind of sticks out. And then we can put a pillar here and a pillar here and bring it all the way up. And bring this one all the way up too if we want. And next, we're going to do something kind of cool here. Where's my chairs? All right, so we need chairs here. We're going to put them up here. Okay, so chair right there, and just go all the way across with this. And make sure you have enough for several tries because alignment's going to be an issue. some weird stuff might happen with, you know, how these things just tend to work like that. That's not going to work. What I'm trying to do is create a nice little cubby hole, and they're kind of sticking out, unfortunately, so I'll probably try again. But just kind of a cubby hole where you could put drinks or plates or anything like that. So these are kind of like cabinets. It's like the poor man's way of doing a cabinet. So let me line these up again. We'll try again. Okay, gotta say that looks pretty cool, I think. Let's go ahead and put some bar stools down, quote-unquote chairs, because they don't make bar stools in vanilla. So let's go ahead and just place all these down. Just 4 of them. Good enough for now. And then we can go back here. We can put some chemistry benches, just to kind of fill things in. All right, let me grab one more. I got a whole bunch down here. All right, and then we'll just slide you over. And in you go. Okay, very nice. So a couple chemistry benches from which to mix drinks and concoctions. And we have ourselves a nice bar area. I think it's pretty cool. It's the object set here in ARK is a little limited, but you can do some interesting stuff with them if you just, you know, just try different combinations of things, and sometimes it works. Okay, so let's continue. Let's work on the booths. So kind of an interesting way to do a booth is you're going to need chairs. You can use benches if you want, but I think the chairs kind of really sell the booth look, which I think they sell more than the benches. And you just want to put them as far against this wall as you can. And then just rotate them till they're straight on like that. So, and then you do it twice for each side. So there we go. And right there. Awesome. Okay, next, little wooden table. You just bring it back till it almost obstructs, then bring it against the wall till it's not done obstructing, and then you just place it in. All right, so that looks pretty good to me. And then do the same thing here. On this side, you can just kind of just pull the chairs up, and you don't have to rotate them or anything. But on the next one we're going to do, you will have to kind of do some stuff. Okay, so there's one booth. Now we need to construct this area here, this booth. So you just do the kind of the same thing. I won't bother to show you because I just showed you how to do it. Okay, there we go. So now we have all of the tables and stuff in. Now to add the booth divider. So the booth divider is pretty straightforward. So let's put a railing in right here. And then a little stone divider right there. And voila, you have booths. Okay, so here's where you're going to put booth locations. You're going to put booths right here. And then you're going to put some booths right here. So what you're going to do with this area is you're going to actually place your chairs first. Sorry, we had a bit of a rainstorm, so I had to do a quick cut. So we're going to place chairs just kind of against the stone foundation. Not all the way, just enough to where that is. And then you can kind of test it. So it occludes a bit, so we need to actually place it a little further away. So let's go ahead and do that. All right, so let's place that right there. And is that going to work? That will work. Okay, perfect. And the reason you want to place the chairs first is if you place the divider first, it ain't going to work. You're going to have some problems. So place the chairs first and then work backwards from there. Okay? So you do that, and I will do it over here, and we'll compare notes on the other side. All right, if you follow the instructions, this is what your booth should look like, both of them. And the ones over here as well, and these here. And then I went ahead, and since there was a big wide open space right here, I added an extra table and chairs. There's really only enough space for one. You can maybe cram into it if you really wanted to, but there's really no point. Okay, so let's go ahead. Let's go in here. Let's furnish our kitchen, okay? So the kitchen, it really isn't going to amount to too much. We're just going to put in 2 kitchen counters. So chemistry bench right there, and then a chemistry bench, right here. And it can overlap into the other one if you want. That way they're connected. And then we'll put in a couple forges for ovens. So forge right there. So this way it can actually kind of be operational if you really want to. If you want to make it operational, you may want to replace one of these forges or chemistry benches with a camping fire. That could work too. That way you can actually cook potions and things. Here I'm going to do a recipe, or a refrigerator. I don't know why I said recipe, but anyway. There you go. Refrigerator right there. And reinforced wooden door right there. All right, so now it opens and closes. There you go. There's a nice kitchen. Pretty simple and sweet. Out here, we're going to... Out here, we're going to pull in the Structures Plus mod for a little trip. We're going to use these little crafting stations because they look like cafe tables. And I think maybe the mod guy did it on purpose that way. I don't know. But I'm just going to place them right here, just kind of one per foundation. That's a good way to kind of keep them spread out, but not too spread out. So once you do this, you can surround them with wooden chairs. And if you don't have Structures Plus installed, you can just go ahead and use the vanilla table and chairs. Alrighty, there we go. Cafe tables, 4 chairs to a table, pretty much. There's only 3 over here, but you know, what are you going to do? Okay, so let's go ahead and let's load up our next set of stuff. And let's go in here. And now what we're going to do is, since we're kind of making a rustic kind of style restaurant, like it could be a Cracker Barrel or something like that, I want to make these kind of wood beams that kind of go across the ceiling. And so that's what we're going to do next. Starting up here, we're going to have a wood beam start right here. And we're going to use wooden catwalks to kind of sell the effect. And we're just going to go straight across, all the way across. That might be a little tricky. Let's try getting it from this angle. Yeah, there we go. And then just kind of trade snap points until it snaps in. It should do it here. Oop, I just saw it. Yeah, there you go. And then we'll have to do it up here as well. There we go. So it can get a little tricky, but if you press your Q key, you will be able to get across. So let's go ahead and do that. And while I'm doing that, I would love to see your builds, your creative stuff, your creative takes on this. Please tweet me if you have any screenshots. Follow me at Twitter, SWChris MC. And that way we can talk in real time and we can have a good kind of discussion about ARK building. It'd be really fun to connect with you. I know that for sure. I would love that. All right, so we are almost done here with these catwalks. And then I'm going to do something I haven't done in any building project to date. And that's because a good restaurant has to have a good nightlife. And what do you need for a good nightlife? You need electricity. So we're going to actually wire this place up. So let's go around back here and let's head out the back. So here, there's a middle foundation, this kind of stone middle foundation here. Let's go ahead and bring some foundations off of that. And we're just going to go all the way back here. You can build yourself a nice little shack if you want. Oops, that is not within the scope of this tutorial. Instead, I'm just going to place down a Jenny right here. I'm going to place an intersection down next to it. If I can see where we're going here, I guess it's just going to have to be... No? Obstructed? Okay, there we go. So now it connects. I guess I placed it too well because I have no idea where it is. So let's just hope I'm placing this stuff correctly. So I'm placing these straight cables underneath. They should snap together, but I don't know. It's too hard to tell. Let's go ahead and put some gasoline in here. All right, got some. So let's load up Jenny, turn her on. Now let's head on inside. All right, so now that we're inside, we're going to place an outlet down right here. Now everything connects. That's great. Awesome. So let's go out here. And these 2 middle catwalks, that's where we're going to place our lights. So we're going to want one right about here. We're going to want one right in the middle here, right on top of this pillar. And we're going to want one right here. And you want one in the same places on this side as well. And then we can turn them on. Probably doesn't... Yeah. And then you should be able to easily reach these, even if you don't have a chair to stand on. But you should be able to turn them on pretty easily without getting a ladder or having to crawl up there. All right. We have all 6 lights up and running, which means I can let the day go to night if I want. And I might do that. So now we need to add the roof. We are just about done, folks. We just need to add the roof. Then we need to do some painting. But here's what we're going to do. We're going to build the outdoor roof first because that's flat. So you can probably just kind of connect it like this. Yeah, that'll work pretty well, I think. If you just do that, you can get around it pretty easily. And then you'll probably, when you're building this for yourself, you'll probably want to build a makeshift ladder just so you can kind of get up to the top. So this is a helpful platform from which to build your ladder. You can just kind of build it off the edge of this roof here because we're done. You just build it right here. You climb up and start building on your roofs. But for me, I'm just going to go ahead and fly. So let's fly to the moon and let's just do some wooden roofs right here along the bottom. And you want to go for the main roof all the way across here, like so, with just wood. And then for the top part, you want 1 wood, 3 glass, and 1 wood. And then you want to repeat that for the backside of each of the roof and the 2 mini roofs. And then we'll get started with painting. Okay, it is time to paint. So, if you notice the stone around here, it's very kind of brownish colored. It's definitely weathered. Because the restaurant here is next to the ruins, and you don't have to paint it this way. You can paint it any color you want. But for me, we're going to paint all the stone with an olive coloring. The olive coloring gives it this kind of nice brownish green kind of color that's pretty close to a color match for this. So I'm going to do that for all the stone, including the walls. The only thing you want to watch out for with the walls is that you don't paint the wood. So you're going to have to probably, I think it's turn off region. It's region 2. You want to disable region 2 when you paste the walls. Paint the walls. Paste them, really. And don't forget the pillars. That way, we'll get everything in one go here. And then once you have all the stone painted, you can do the windows any shade you want. What I am going to do for the windows is a nice white. And the white just kind of makes the windows pop just a little bit more. It gets kind of rid of the sort of the metal look almost. So I'm just going to paint everything. Just make it all white. All right. And I'm going to do the same for the metal railings too. It doesn't do much to the railings. Actually, you know what? There's no point. Don't paint the railings. They don't color anyway. But you can color the walls, color the windows, maybe even the tables if you want. Go crazy. I'd love to see what you do on Twitter with it. But I'm going to go paint this, and then we'll be right back for a final walkthrough. Okay, folks, we are pretty much done with the painting. And as you can see, I think it looks pretty cool. I hope you think it looks pretty cool. Added a sign. Now, this is just completely optional, but since this is next to some ruins, I'm calling this the Ruins Restaurant. You can, of course, name yours any kind of name you want, but this is mine. And I think this is actually going to be a pretty cool working restaurant if we ever get like an RP group or something going up on the server. But you can see the white here, and then all the stone is kind of tan. And I left everything else alone because I was going for kind of a rustic look. You can see the full working bar and grill. You can see the lights kind of doing something nice with the shadows. They're making them less apparent. And then here, of course, you have kind of the kitchen with stuff as well. So pretty nice. I'm so excited about this, and I hope you enjoyed it. Oh, hey, let's take a look, see what this place looks like at night, huh? And then let's do a little bit of flying, and let's see what we got here. Yeah, that's wonderful. It just makes everything shine, makes everything glow at night. It's pretty cool. And then inside you can see, you get a bunch of people in there. It'd be a pretty great scene, I think. So that's pretty awesome. And then once you're inside, you can't see out. It's kind of weird, but whatever. Anyway, hope you did enjoy. If you want to check out more build guides, click on the square at the top right-hand corner. Please don't forget to subscribe as well for more of these, as well as some more casual building episodes here on the Building Evolved server, and maybe elsewhere. It kind of depends on where I'm at when I start releasing these vids. Anyway, I'll see you next time. My name is SWChris. Comment down below. Auf Wiedersehen, arrivederci, hasta la vista. Bye-bye.